Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be going over that infamous subject that we've hit 100 times, oil pressure. So once again, we're going to be going over some oil pressure. I actually have some great data to share with you guys. I'm pretty excited about this. So I brought up our AEM data, and I'm going to be able to share with you guys everything we've been doing on the dyno. Cue dyno footage. And I'm going to be able to share this dyno footage with you with data, so it really gives you a good idea of what we were looking at and what we're looking at now. Now obviously I've explained to you guys in numerous detail about all the things from lines being changed to moving tanks forward to trying everything under the sun to minimize the amount of bends and radiuses that are in the system itself. We've had this system since 2016, which if you remember, 2016, great season, oil pressure was phenomenal, amazing. 2017, 2018, we still just could not figure out why our oil pressure randomly disappeared after we blew a head gasket. So, no idea, wish I could really tell you, but we made a lot of changes this year, and so far, let's see if it paid off.
Okay guys, so what I'm looking at here, we have our data log from earlier this year. This is the first dyno session that we romped on a little bit from our engine that we blew up in the beginning part of the year. And then we have our last dyno session from when we first really applied boost and really started getting into the engine. So as you can see here, I have engine speed, oil pressure, and oil temperature all for reference, as well as you can see up here you have coolant temperature, throttle percentage, engine speed, and oil temperature again. Now as we go through this, you can kind of see the RPMs. This is where kind of Paul jumps into it and slams down on the gas. As we go through, you can see oil pressure at almost 3,000 RPMs. Let's bring them back up. About 3,000 RPMs. They're about the same. You have a very small delta as shown here. And the oil temperature is a small delta as well, but that's obviously the difference between January temperatures and July temperatures. So as we continue through, you can kind of see, we start to see this weird variance about right here where we're having a delta of basically nothing, but you can kind of see in the graph that soon oil pressure is going to start dropping off. So as we go through, you start seeing this variance that starts accommodating this oil problem that we've been having. This, our new oil pressure line here, this is on the new engine that we just installed with all of our changes done to the oiling system. You can see it's continuing to climb with the RPMs. So as your engine speed rises, oil pressure rises. Whereas oddly, in this old unit here, you can see at this 4,600, 4,500 realm, it's like it topped out and then it just started to fall. And it actually saw on the dyno as low as 54 psi. Whereas in the same kind of situation on the other, I mean, we're looking at a 50 psi delta from one graph to the next. That's huge. So I can't conclusively say that we have our oiling pressures completely situated, but let me tell you, I think we are looking really good. A track test is coming, but this is obviously a great way to utilize something like AEM data to go through and verify what you're seeing, and this gives me my fault. This tells me that there was something wrong. I wish I could tell you I knew what that thing was. That's the only thing that's still irking me to this moment, is I don't know what the problem actually was. I ended up redoing a lot of lines, moving the tank, doing a lot of different things, increasing diameter of hoses. We made a lot of changes to the Vibrant Performance lines and doing some other things with it. But all I can say is it looks like we're going to solve that overall. So I'm pretty happy. I don't see this in what was going on there it's a nice steady stream that just kind of flows up and stays. You can see it right here. I mean, we were already in a situation where it just creeps right up. Oddly, you can actually see here, as he was just steady state, we actually had more oil pressure back then. Again, I couldn't tell you why that is, but it's just what it is. I don't know what to tell you on that situation. But as it goes across, then it falls here at the 4,500 RPM mark and goes into an abysmal state. And now we're looking really good. Oil pressures continue up until it hits the pressure relief valve at 100 psi, and then it kind of stays around that point. I'll be much happier to go around the track with 100 psi oil pressure than 70.
So I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's solved, but it's looking, because of the data, everything is looking like we're going to be in really, really good shape. Overall, I definitely think we shouldn't have any oil pressure issues going into this year. Now, again, what we're doing is we're utilizing this data to try to get a grasp on what, why, and how. I wish I could give you a why, because we changed a lot of items, as I said before. So it was kind of a last ditch effort of let's just try everything, throw the book at it, and go from there. But it seems to have worked. So we're gonna let Paul tune this car up, get it all the way up, and then we're gonna go from there. So all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I know the oil pressure drama has been extensive, but hopefully this solves it. It's conclusive data stating that the oil pressure is doing as it should. I really, really, really wish I had the 2016 data, guys, but we didn't have an AEM Infinity at that time, and we did not log it in this manner. So I wish I could have that. I don't. That's what made this kind of difficult, because we didn't actually have data from that season. All I have is some other data logs and some other videos that actually have data on them, but I couldn't compare it in this manner. So it made it more difficult. So this with AEM data is definitely making a difference in how I'm able to evaluate and what I decide to do after the fact. Because if I had this data previously going into this, if I was able to compare a good known system that worked well versus our system when it didn't work so well, I could have saved, literally I could have saved 3 motors, because I could have easily been able to identify there's something wrong with the system and stop what you're doing. We made too many assumptions. We took out bearings and looked at them and they didn't look damaged, and we didn't act on it. So data's key. Use the data, save your engines, do it right. All right, guys, take care. Have a good one.